Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. Time once again to saddle up for the Horsepower Rodeo in the Red Bull Grand Prix of the United States. We move from South America to North America for round 3 in this year's World Championship. And joining us for our Thursday pre-event press conference are 3 riders who enjoyed great success last weekend down in Brazil. Firstly, introducing Aprilia Racing's Marco Bezzecchi. Simply the Bears and simply unstoppable right now is Marco, victorious in the last 4 Grand Prix. He's led the last 101 laps on Sundays. First Aprilia rider to lead the World Championship since Aleix Espargaro back in 2022. And he's the first Italian to win the 2 opening Grand Prix in MotoGP since, no prizes for guessing, Valentino Rossi won at Suzuka and Velcome all the way back in 2001, some 25 years ago. 4th in the World Championship and Ducati's top rider so far this season, Puerto Merida Enduro VR46 racing rider Fabio Di Gianantonio. Fabio on the sprint and Grand Prix podium for the 2nd time in the last 3 races in Brazil. Last weekend, of course, in Goiânia, also starting from pole position. Fabio on the podium here 1 year ago in Austin, and he's finished on the podium here in all 3 Grand Prix classes. And completing the lineup is reigning world champion Marc Marquez, racing for the Ducati Lenovo team. Currently 5th in the standings is Marc, winner of the Tissot Sprint in Goiânia, and last weekend here in Austin, Marc has that incredible record with 7 victories, and of course it was right here back in 2013 when he became the youngest rider in history to win in MotoGP before going on to win the title that same year as a rookie. Gentlemen, welcome to all 3 of you. Always fantastic to be here in Austin, here in Texas. Marco, we'll start the press conference with you. As mentioned, you're on this absolutely amazing run, 4 wins in a row, which is only something Valentino Rossi, Jorge Lorenzo, Pecco Bagnaia and Marc himself have done in the modern era. Confidence must be sky high right now. So how are you feeling coming to Austin with a chance of making it 5 in a row this weekend?
Well, I feel good. I feel happy. It's of course a good moment. It's been a good moment till now. But now we start again another race weekend. So it's as always a new chapter. And but anyway, super happy to be here. It's a track that I really like. The place is amazing and the fans as well. So. Really can't wait to jump on the bike, to ride and to try to enjoy this amazing track.
2 years ago, Marco, here in 2024, of course, Aprilia dominated the weekend. Maverick Vinales winning both the sprint and the Grand Prix. You know this track now on the Aprilia after last year. Where do you think you can make the difference around this track on the RSGP? Which parts of the track do you like on the bike?
It's difficult to say because, as you know, every year is quite unique in our sport. It's true that Maverick did an amazing weekend 2 years ago, but the bike is completely different now, so I don't really know what to expect from the bike. And it's also true that Marc in this track has been always amazing. I think he has more win in this track than me in my career in MotoGP, so at the end will not be an easy weekend, but anyway we will try to do our best and we will see.
And just finally, Marco, as mentioned, you've won the last 4 Grand Prix, you've led all of the last 101 laps in MotoGP. The record was set by Jorge Lorenzo. He led 103 successive laps 11 years ago back in 2015. So if you lead the first 3 laps here on Sunday, you'll break that record. Just how cool would that be? And what does it say about how strong you and Aprilia are right now to even have the chance to break such an unusual record?
Well, yeah, I didn't even know about this record, honestly, and well, it's super cool already to have just the possibility to be close to this record. But at the end, it's not what is really important for me and for my team. At the end, we try to do our job weekend by weekend, and then if we can be competitive, we are happy. If not, we will try to work and improve.
Marco, best of luck to you and Aprilia here this weekend in Austin. We'll come on then to Fabio Di Gianantonio. Fabio, just reading the stats there, saying that you've had podiums here in Austin in all 3 classes. So traditionally, this has been a very good track for you in the past. What is it about this track where you feel you can make the difference, and why do you click so well with this place?
Yeah, this track is amazing. The whole weekend, every time is so cool. You know, the people, the places are real with these huge flags all around the track, huge stars and stripes. Yeah, I like the vibe here. I like the track. The first sector is so cool. It's super characteristic and different compared to any other track that we have in the calendar. So I've always been amazed running here, and yeah, now another go. So let's just enjoy the weekend and the ride here.
You come here in great form, Fabio, with the pole position and the 2 podiums in Brazil last weekend. You did mention after that big crash in the warm-up last Sunday that you felt a little bit of discomfort from the shoulder in that Brazilian Grand Prix. Is that a concern this weekend, given how physical this track is? And what have the doctors told you about that injury, or do you feel you're going to be close to 100% this weekend?
I underestimated a little bit on Sunday for the race. Then the most difficult day actually was on Monday. It was tough to use the arm in the proper way, but I really don't want to make it as an excuse or something. I don't want to even think about it. We will do everything to be prepared and 100%. I'm sure, and I have the right people to arrive to Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday at 100%. So just, it's okay, it's there, but with the head we are fully focused and we'll be okay.
And just finally, we can see from the VR46 T-shirt, we can see from your special Kota helmet. It's been quite some week for you after the last couple of days. You spent it in New York, special guest at an NBA game, visiting the New York Stock Exchange, and then revealing this super cool special livery at the top of a skyscraper ahead of the Manhattan skyline in the background. Fabio, how cool has that experience been? And give us your thoughts on the Aldo Drudi-inspired livery.
Yeah, so on my career I always try to express myself in a particular way, and being in a team that is trying to make the same too is great. I think we are kind of unique in this. We try to express ourselves in a completely different way compared what we used to see in motorsport. And then yeah, delivery, my helmet, Aldo did everything. Aldo did this amazing painting, and all the elements of the painting are on the bike, on the uniforms, on my helmet too. So it's an art piece that Aldo was feeling a lot, and I'm super glad that I can wear these colors. And then yeah, as you said, the presentation of the bike on the top of the edge in New York has been great. You know, many things that allows you to arrive here with a lot of good vibes.
Good for us commentate as well, because you're easy to spot out on circuit here this weekend. Better luck to you, Fabio. Finally, then we'll come on to Ducati Lenovo team rider, reigning world champion, of course, Marc Marquez. Marc, there's been a feeling maybe at the first 2 Grand Prix we haven't seen you at your very best, and perhaps the opening 2 rounds have been a little bit damage limitation while you get stronger physically and get more comfortable with the bike. Given this is Austin, and given how strong you normally are at this racetrack, do you feel maybe you're going to be able to attack a little bit more this weekend?
Yeah, let's see. Of course, last year we started the championship in another way with a better shape, but step by step we are coming with a better feeling, better understanding the bike and flowing in a better way. So yeah, this is the target for the next races, especially here in Austin. Normally, it's a circuit that switch well from a riding style, but it's true that also that sector 1, 2 is quite demanding. So let's see. We will try to start in a good way and try to find our level. Is what I'm doing these first races.
Marc, you could have won the sprint, obviously, over in Buram. You were unlucky to miss the podium in the Grand Prix on Sunday in Thailand. You did win the sprint last weekend in Brazil and just missed the podium on Sunday after that great battle with Fabio. So you are close to the top. What do you feel are the areas that you need to improve on just to make that next little step?
Yeah, I'm looking to find the feeling. I mean, to be more constant on the lap times. This is the key. It's true that as we show in the qualifying practice, the speed we have, but we need to find a way to be more consistency and to make the lap times in an easier way. So every time we are closer and closer. In Thailand I was far. In Brazil I was a bit closer, and yeah, let's see if in the next races, I don't know if here or Jerez, but the target is that, be more consistency during the race distance.
And just finally, Marc, everybody knows your history with Kota, everybody knows your fantastic record here, but there's been missed opportunities to win more, particularly in 2024 and 2025. Sorry to remind you about that, but does that give you a little bit of extra fire, a little bit of extra motivation to try and win again here at a track we know you love so much?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, of course, it's a track that I love, but it's a track that I didn't win the last 4 years. So I need to understand well which mistakes, the way to improve. Marco is coming with 4 victories in a row, showing a great speed. So he's the favorite because he's leading the championship. We will try to stop his performance, but it will be difficult because at the moment he's the fastest rider out there. Fabio also is, as he's showing in Brazil, he's super fast. So yeah, I mean, we will try to concentrate in our job and try to find the 100% inside our garage.
Well, best of luck to you here this weekend in Austin. MotoGP Social coming up later, but for the time being, we'll invite please questions from the media. Thank you very much.
Hello, here Borja González for DAZN. Question for the all three. I guess you have read also this kind of debate that is not only here, also the fans wondering which bike is better right now, the Aprilia or the Ducati. I don't know, what do you think about this, or how long we must wait to understand exactly which is the real situation of the championship? Thank you very much.
Well, it's a kind of question that is very difficult for me to answer, because at the end I'm riding the Aprilia and I don't know how is the Ducati. So it's difficult and it's impossible for me to make a comparison between the two bikes. And at the end it's also super early in the championship to say these kind of things. At the end what is super important for me is that my team is working well with me. I feel super good, I feel very loved inside the box. And this, for me, is what it really matters.
Yeah, well, I think we can also don't even know for the rest of the season. Let's say we don't need a better bike than another for MotoGP. I think we need great battles, and as many bikes has come fast and strong, as the fights will be tougher and with more fire. So it's what we love to have as riders, the fans want to have. So I really hope that we don't understand if the Aprilia or the Ducati, whoever is better.
As always, a combination of things, but I feel that I have the best bike and the best team, so it's in my hands.
Yes, Mela Chércoles, Diario AS and Cadena SER. A question for Marc. Marc, it's my theory. I would like to know your opinion, if you see any similarity between this Grand Prix and 2017, when here in Austin, when Maverick arrived on a roll with 2 victories in a row, in a great moment with the Yamaha, like Marco Bezzecchi now and Aprilia, and Sunday he crashed, you win again, or you won again, and won another championship. Can be any similarity with this?
I mean, every race is important, and of course, when it's a rider like Marco that is winning in an easy way in Thailand and Brazil, it's difficult to stop. So, so in the end, we will try to do our job. About comparison with that year, I was in another shape. Now I need to be patient.
Yeah, hi guys, Adam Wheeler, 2 questions. Marco, first of all, without saying that the championship is long, and without saying you're going race by race, do you feel a bit closer than ever to maybe being world champion, and what does that feel like?
But you decide the answer for me, or I can also decide the answer? Because then, I don't know. Well, this is the truth at the end. I cannot say anything else about, besides this. I mean, we missed 40 races between sprint and GP. I think it's a little bit early to. Of course, I would love to be competitive for all the season. So, it's my target, and I will try to do it with my team to work always in the best way that we can every weekend. But at the moment, I don't wanna make my mind full of this kind of thoughts.
And then, Mark, any special plans on the grid before the race this year? Rodeo, something? No?
No, it looks like normal weather, so no, nothing on the head.
Johnny Hopper with Moto Unfiltered. Marco, this one's for you. The only thing harder than getting a competitive advantage is keeping a competitive advantage. So what are you doing to stay ahead of your competition?
The same I was doing before, to be completely honest. Just giving my all every day at home and at the races to be fit and to try to be well prepared before the races, but also in the weekend just try to work in the best way that I can.
Marquez, with the rule change with keeping the motors the same, do you think that that is enabling some of the other manufacturers to close the gap on the Ducati?
I mean, the rules has been for that. I mean, it's true that 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, start this new rule. I don't remember well, but in the end, MotoGP Championship and MotoGP needs manufacturers and needs riders. But in the end, manufacturers, if you have a different colors out there in the podiums, is much better, especially because like this, as now looks like is the moment of Aprilia, but has been a Ducati moment the last years. But yeah, I mean, as Marco say, still 20 races to go.
And last one, Fabio, there's been a lot of controversy on aggressive riding in some other two-wheel motorsports. Last weekend at Brazil, you had an epic battle with Marquez. Was that over the line, or is that just how MotoGP does rubbing elbows?
I had a lot of fun with Mark last weekend on Saturday and Sunday. I think our racing was super clean, for sure aggressive, but it's normal. We're riding at super high speed at the moment. The bikes are really going super fast, so it's not that easy to control every movement of the bike and on you on the bike. But I think what we show on the last weekend is the perfect way to express motorsports.
Hi, I'm Elisabetta with Voodoo Moto. I have a question actually for all three of you. What makes Kota such a unique challenge compared to the other tracks across the globe, of course?
Well, it's very long, 20 corners. The first sector is super physical, but also all the rest of the track is very difficult with a lot of hard brakings. So you don't have a moment to breathe apart from the long back straight. But it's also difficult, the long back straight, because the bike moves a lot and goes very fast. So I think these are the main differences between this track and the others.
Yeah, a lot of corners. I think is the track with the most corners in the calendar. So it's also demanding for the mind to be that focused on every corner of the lap, especially in the time attack mode. So I think this is the most unique thing.
Yeah, as they say, I mean, the fact that it's 20 corners is like 3 different riding styles during a lap. So you need to understand well how to ride, especially the most tricky one, or the most difficult one is that sector 1, because every lap is different. Even if you want to be precise, it's impossible.
Simon Patterson from The Race. Question to all three of you. After everything we saw last week in Brazil, and especially with a street race potentially coming onto the MotoGP calendar next year, does the FIM and MotoGP organisers need to look at how they approve tracks, how the homologation process works?
Well, I think they're doing a very good job for us and for, in general, all the safety terms are, I think, well cured in the last years, and I can't complain. At the end in Brazil, of course, everyone was in the same condition, so they did the maximum to make us race in the safest way possible. So I can't complain.
Yeah, I think the condition of Brazil was also difficult to predict from themselves. Let's say if you prepare a track and then suddenly the track is, you have some pieces coming over, it's difficult to predict from home. So you need to experience it, you need to bikes going around the track, understand it. But I think they are doing a great job putting this kind of tracks on the calendar, because at the end, as Marco said, the most important thing, at least for me, is the safety. And that track was safety enough for race and to give a good show. So on my side, they are doing a good job.
As they say, was important, we need to have open mind. I mean, when we arrive in a new circuit, and especially when it's built in a very short time, it happened in Mandalika the first year, also the stones on the straight. So yeah, maybe the asphalt was a bit too fresh, but in the end we saved the weekend, and safety conditions were good. I mean, okay, that turn 11, 12, but it was for everybody, the gravel there, so you need to adapt.
Okay, I think the media are happy, so we'll move on then to our MotoGP social segment with my colleague, Mr. Kiko Giles. Over to you, Kiko.
Thanks, Matt. You'll notice there are no boards today, so you're not going to be drawing racetracks blindfolded or anything like that. This one is from the fans. We often hear in the paddock and with our fans that they have very special memories of you guys, but we want to know, what are your special memories of the fans? It can be the most memorable, the craziest, the weirdest, the most fun. So, starting with you, Marco, then Fabio, and then Mark. One special memory from a very special fan. Is there one that comes to mind? And if you can, try and remember where and when.
Obviously in Italy is full of crazy fans. I'm Italian, so in Misano normally I met always a lot of very passionate fans, and I think last year, so quite a short time ago, I met this grandmother that was going crazy seeing me, and she was I think 87 years old, but she was dancing like a teenager when she saw me on the street close to the track. So it was very special for me to see the passion that goes from young kids to also this grandmother. So it was very nice.
What about you, Fabio? Any dancing grandmothers on your travels?
Not yet, not yet. Well, a fun thing was, I think I was Moto3, and I met a girl same age as me, and she wanted a tattoo, a signature. I made the signature on his arm, and she made a tattoo of it. So year after year, she's still following me, and having a fan that gets my tattoo. At the beginning was strange, but super cool, and I felt super loved somehow. So I think that is the craziest, but also the coolest thing that happened to me.
Mark, I'm sure you've had plenty of encounters, dancing grandmothers and tattoo signatures aside. Anything different for you?
No, I mean, I'm lucky that I had a lot of moments, but especially, as you know and as you see in the videos, the kids are the ones that are funnier and the nicest things. So yeah, always I try to spend time with the fans. Never enough because we don't have time. But yeah, as both of them say, tattoo is one of the things that the first time you see is quite a big impact. Because like now if I get crazy and change my character, what's going on with that tattoo? But yeah, always nice to have a good fans behind you.
And just before we hand back to Matt and wrap up, what about here in America? What are the fans like here in America? Because we know they are also some of the most passionate here at COTA.
Yeah, they are very loud. They like to scream, and it's super nice because I think you can recognize an American fan by far. And here in particular in Texas, you have also a lot of Mexicans, a lot of guys coming from the south of America. And it's nice to see many different culture here, and the support is always fantastic. So we are lucky that in every place that we go, we have very beautiful fans.
Fabio?
Yeah, the funniest here in America, it was this winter. I was with my girlfriend in New York to spend the first of the year, so yeah, the New Year Eve. And we were just going around to the city. We went inside a shop, And so honestly, I was fully in a comfort mode. I'm normal dressed with my girlfriend in another country. And suddenly there is one guy screaming like, "Hey, you DJ, you're number one, mate." And I was like, yeah, okay, because I was not in that mood. Maybe you can expect from a race weekend, but not in a shop in completely out of the contest. So it was a fun thing here in America.
And Mark?
Yeah, are loud and nice. The fans from Texas and yeah, as Marco say, are coming from South America. A lot of them from Mexico, and yeah, always nice to spend time with them.
Well, I'm sure you'll encounter more this weekend. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have the best riders in the world, and we certainly have the best fans in the world in the MotoGP World Championship. Guys, that's it. Just one more job for you today. If you can stand for the official photo. Thank you very much. Okay, Marco, Fabio, Mark, best of luck this weekend. Thank you.